Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna and I'm a little bit spooky, and today we're doing a cool tone kind of smoky liner look using the Colourpop Stone Cold Fox palette. Any cool tone palette will do the job, but yeah, we're using that one today, and we're gonna pair it with a beautiful berry blush from Burt's Bees, and yeah, it's doing a pretty look and a little bit educational. Like this one of those videos where I really kind of go in detail talking through what I'm doing. I'm not just rambling about other nonsense. So yeah, if that interests you, go ahead and keep on watching. But before you do, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know some more videos you would like to see. Do you want some more cool tone looks? Let a girl know, because I'm kind of on a cool tone makeup kick. Also, I am going to do the whole cold girl trend with the berry blush fresh in from the cold look. Definitely gonna be doing that one day. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and just get into this look. Okay guys, let's create some cool tone makeup today. Good morning. Is it morning where you are? Let me know. I think it's still technically morning here. Yeah, it's like 10:30. Oh, my stomach's growling already. Okay. Thank you for chiming in. I realize we're ready for lunchtime already. But I digress. We're going to play with Stone Cold Fox today. I'm in the mood for some cool tone makeup. But I don't want to go like crazy gray cool tone, but I'm going to throw a little gray in there. But I'm going to lean a little bit into the neutrals as well, just to balance the look so it's not so gray to where it looks washed out. Even though I tend to have cooler undertones, cool to neutral, when I go in with like straight up gray eyeshadow and silvers, I look sickly. I don't think it's very flattering on myself. So I like to balance it with shades that are a little more neutral, almost get into like a contour shade rather. Very taupey colors with maybe even a kiss of warmth in there, because it does flatter me better, because they're shades that are more native in my skin tone. I don't have gray in my skin tone, so I kind of need to, fade that out somehow. So we're just going to sit down, play, create a pretty look. It's not going to be something super dramatic and crazy ultimate glam. I just want to create a pretty look and play with some berry blushes. I'm also kind of inspired by this whole cold girl trend, and I might do something a little more geared, like focused on just that with the blushes. But I'm going to throw in a little bit of some berry today. So I have two that I've pulled here. This is a Burt's Bees blush, and this is in the shade Velvet Wine, which is gorgeous. And this is like crazy pigmented, so you kind of have to be careful with it. And I also pulled from e.l.f. This is the shade Caribbean from their Putty blush, which is also a nice berry. And I'm going to swatch them in a minute when we get to that point and kind of decide which one I'm going to go with. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started on the eyes. I've already primed them using the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow crayon, and I'm going to use that as my base today. And I've dusted a little bit of powder over top just to set it down really well. And of course I've already kind of sketched out my brows a bit and done all my skincare, and I put some lip balm on, and then I felt like the lip balm looked weird, so I put some liner around it. I was just kind of killing time because I was listening to a video and I wanted to finish my video. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this shade called Luxe, which is a creamy bone shade right here. So I'm thinking this shade would be a great brow bone kind of base shade to start with, and I always like to start with a shade kind of right in here, just kind of aid in blending. It just kind of, I don't know, it works for me. So I'm taking that on a pretty big fluffy brush and tapping it off, and I'm just gonna run it right here. Oh, what is on my brush? Oh my goodness, what the heck? What the heck? How did I get gray eyeshadow on my brush already? I must accidentally touch something. Oops, oops, oops. Let's see if we can fix that. Can I get that off? Oh no, I hate when that happens. I literally just wiped this brush off, so I must have just touched one of the gray eyeshadows when I picked this up. Anyway, let me make sure the brush is clean. Jeez Louise. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to dab a little bit into that Luxe shade, tap it off, and then hit the brow bone. And this shade brightens this area quite sufficiently for me because it is so light. I do like a little bit of brightness in this area, but I tend to go with something that is a little bit closer to my skin tone than this shade. Like this is bordering on too light for the brow bone to me, but it's a really nice kind of beginning point. I'm gonna put in here, but having a little bit of powder or base shade laid down on lid really does aid in blending, especially if you're working with grays. I feel like grays can look quite choppy very easily. I don't know, they can look unblended, and I feel like they need a little extra hand holding. Sometimes it doesn't, I don't think it matters what brand you're using. That's just kind of, to me, a thing. So I like to have something dusted on the lid just to create a nice soft surface that's not super grippy. All right, next I'm gonna take this is just a nice full fluffy brush from Sonia Kashuk, and the name has rubbed off, but it's just a really, you know, nice big fluffy brush. And I think I'm gonna try, I think we're gonna go with the shade called Enigma. First, to start building the transition, is this one right here. It does have a touch of warmth in it, but still kind of a taupe color. It's just a warmer taupe. And I'm gonna take my brush. I'm just gonna bring it right here through this upper transition area and kind of blow it out. And a shade like this can really kind of ground the look and keep it from looking quite so stark when we start to go in with the cooler tones. And I think I'm going to keep those cooler grays closer to the lash line. I'm going to use like a gray eyeliner. I was watching a Hung Bingo video the other day and got kind of inspired by him with the grays. He was using a kind of greenish gray on his model, and it was so beautiful. I was like, ooh, I want to use a gray like that. But these are actually bluer grays because I have done looks with those more green grays before using the another Colourpop palette. I'll link it in the eye if you want some more cool tone gray inspiration. I don't think it was the Baroque palette. It might be the Baroque palette. And I've also done some looks with the That's Taupe palette if you're interested in those. I'll try to link as many as I can in the eye or in the description box. I guess I should make like a cool tone playlist. I'm kind of pulling this up and out where it flows into my skin tone. And of course I'm going to be going in with like my foundation and bronzer and stuff, and that will all marry everything together. But this is a nice starting point. And to me, Colourpop is very fallout heavy. They're a little bit powdery. So I do like to start with the eyes when I'm using Colourpop eyeshadow, especially dark shades. If we're going to go in anything a little bit darker and their shimmers and stuff, they tend to be a little bit drop downy. I'm going to go right by the lash line with a coal black eyeliner. This is just a straight black eyeliner, but it is one meant for smudging. This is the Smoke and Smudge eyeliner from Colleen Rothschild, and I think this one will be good. I want to put a little bit of depth right out here and some lift, just to kind of start the look out and where I want the darkness to be. So I want to keep the darkness more out here and maybe a little bit in here. But I don't want it to be just a super like weighed down heavy look. But I just wanted to lift the outer corner of my lids a bit because they do droop down. I have downturned eyes. And just dotting a bit of that one. I'm going to take a nice little smudge brush. This one's kind of a flat but dense, firm brush. I prefer the ones that are a little more flat and skinny like this because it gives you a little more control rather than like a round bullet brush. And I can really focus where this shadow is going, and it's not going to get too blown out and wild. And the reason I'm choosing this one is because this particular pencil does blend out into a bit of a grayer undertone, where some black eyeshadow, black pencils can blend out to be a little bit more brown. This one really does pull more gray when you smudge it out. And it's kind of perfect. It's like it creates a very, very dark gray. And then where you build it up, it'll go into like the true black. You see kind of the edges are fading into a bit of a grayish tone. And I think that's very complimentary to what I'm going for. I'm feeling very educational today. And you don't have to worry about being incredibly precise at this point because we will be doing some blending and some eyeshadow and things will get tidied up. But I try to keep it just as precise as I can at the moment, but things don't have to be absolutely perfect. What's fun about doing your eyes first is that you can get a little messy and experiment and play a little bit more. And then you have the opportunity to clean up your edges and stuff if things start to blend out where you don't want them. It just gives you a little bit of flexibility. So especially if you're a beginner with eyeshadow, I recommend doing the eyeshadow before you do your face makeup. Just for that, it's like a safety net. And you can easily tidy things up with some Q-tip and micellar water or your face primer, lotion, whatever, and you can just wipe it away very easily. My favorite way to remove fallout and clean up any edges is to use a face primer. To me, it just swipes it away so well, and it just, I don't know, it works like a magic eraser. I like to use the e.l.f. Putty Primer for that because that's not one I love on my T-zone or anything. So it's not a primer I care about. So it's one I don't mind wasting just to kind of clean up some edges. I'm talking about their old school putty primer. I actually like the, I think it's the green one they have. I actually do like that one quite a bit. Go ahead and start to tidy up a little bit right here. Very gently with the Q-tip. This pencil is very smudgy and very easy to blend, and it doesn't really set down, which makes it a great kind of base to work with. But just go ahead and just kind of start to get my shape of what I'm going for. It's just a nice kind of way to map out what I'm planning to do. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little smaller brush here. This is from Sigma. This is a precision firm blender. Do I want to start with it or do I want to just start with the firm blender? I think I'm going to start with the firm blender. And we're going to start to bring in some cooler taupes now. I'm going to take the shade called You Rock, which is a very cold taupe. Almost into a gray right here. I'm just going to take a little bit of that on a Sigma Firm blender. This is a round blending brush that is really kind of dense and firm, as it says. And I'm just going to take a little bit. I'm going to tap my brush off good. I'm going to start to kind of pat that right here and start to blend that into the liner on the edges and on the outer corner. I'm going to start by just tapping it on and then blending. And I think I'm going to be deepening this up as I go. And I'm keeping it very much towards the outer corner and crease area. Or socket line, rather. I don't follow my crease, I follow my socket line because I've, saggy lids. Alright, I'm going to start adding a little more depth now. I think I'll switch to the Precision Firm Blender, which, that's not it. Which is a smaller version of the previous brush. Yeah, I think we're going to go in with the one called Drama Mama, which is it's a very cool brown with almost a little bit of purple in it, but not quite. It's just a very, very cool brown shade and very deep. So I'm going to take a little bit of that on my firm blender and start to build that over top. Right out here. Just very precisely. We're almost just going for more of a bit of a contoured look, but just having that bit of smoke out here. And I'm just going to stick that real tight to the lash line there. And just patting and then blending. I'll go back to my firm blender and soften things up a bit. And we can also go back to our previous shade, the You Rock shade, which is kind of our transition tone there. Our crease socket line color. And come around those edges and just make sure things looking nice and soft. Go back to a little bit the darker brown. Just a little back and forth. And I'm being very gentle, like barely touching the skin, just lightly blending. I'm going to take my first brush that had the cream on it, cream color eyeshadow. No additional product, I'm just taking it and running it inward and swiping it out just to soften right here to make sure everything is looking like we have a nice flow. All right, and now I think I'm going to take just a touch of an actual true gray. I'm going to take it on this little detail diffused crease brush from Sigma. This is the shade called Rubber Mill, which is a blue based gray. This one right here. And I'm just going to take a tiny bit to start because I'm not sure exactly how what we're going to do here. I'm just going to start to kind of gently tickle a little bit of that in, very lightly. That actually looks really good. Okay. All right, that looks nice. Hey, and just keeping it focused out here. And just softly swiping it in, kind of blending it in. I kind of treat it like I'm painting. I think that added just the right amount of depth. Very nice. Okay. Take my original blending brush, big fluffy one with no product, and just run that around the edges. Make sure everything is looking soft. Take a bit more of the Enigma shade. Come right out here. You could do this with bronzer or any shade that flatters your skin tone. You know, your preferred bronzer tone, and come right here and just blend your eyeshadow at the edges. That is basically a saving grace for any eyeshadow look that isn't looking like it's flowing well, is to take like your contour, your bronzer shade, and just bring it around those outer edges. That way it can really flow into your skin tone. And that goes across the board for any skin tone. It really depends on your bronzer shade that suits you and your undertones and what feels right on your skin. And it's kind of a trick to make any eyeshadow work on anybody universally, is to do that. And I've found that trick to always pan out. For me, if I'm doing makeup on somebody else, that's always what I do, just to make sure everything is looking like it belongs. I'm going to take a little more of that gray. I didn't think I would like the gray as much as I do. The true gray, the Rumor Mill. Okay. Now I'm going to take a little eyeliner brush, or like an angled liner brush. Did I pull one out or not? No, I did not. I never do. Actually, I'm just going to take this really small detail brush. You could use a liner brush or anything like that. Something really tiny. A little bit of the pure black shade in here called Rock Bottom. I believe that's what it's called. Yes. And it is like a super black eyeshadow. It's probably one of the most in the pan blackest eyeshadows I've ever seen. And I'm gonna just tap it right here over where we kind of applied that eyeliner, just to deepen that area up very softly, keeping it very controlled application. And any step in here that you don't like, skip. It's no big deal, you know. You don't have to do it exact. Do what suits you and makes you happy. If you want to bring the eyeshadow in further, go for it. Whatever suits your eye shape. I'm kind of in the mood where I'm experimenting with different placements lately. And it's just been kind of fun to do that. I'm going to take the big brush again. Swipe in just to make sure that's not looking too dark. Just soften that as it flows in. And you can do that with a Q-tip or your finger. Oh, here's a little liner brush right here. We'll take just a tiny bit of that shadow, get right in the lash. Like coming from under the lashes almost and just wiggling. Then take a little bit more of Luxe, the lightest shade that we use, and bring that across. Just to brighten up in here. Alright, and I'm going to do just a kiss of a shimmer, just kind of on the center of the lid here. Okay, I think I'm going to use the shade called I Dig It, and I'm going to lightly just kind of swipe that across, more so the center of the lid. And for that, I'll just use the little diffuse crease. And I'm just going to take it right here, get it on the middle, just for a little bit of glow. And of course, you can just take your finger, kind of pat that in. It's just like a little bit of shine on there. And just very lightly sweeping it. And always double checking, make sure everything is nice and blended looking. I'm going to take that little liner brush, and then I'm going to go into the darkest brown that we use, Drama Mama. And I'm going to go right here on this inner part from kind of underneath and just stamp it. And pull it into the tear duct just a bit. I'm like almost tight lining. And I'm going to let it come in just a touch, using the tip of the brush and tugging it towards my nose. Very gently. It creates that nice cat-like effect to the eyes. A little bit of that siren eye situation. I love that eye shape, or that placement. It really does elongate the eyes and just gives them, makes them look bigger. I'm going to come back later and tight line the lash line once I got my mascara on, just to see if I need to do that. Now what I'm going to do is tidy up a bit of this fallout right here. And I'm going to take that e.l.f. face primer that I was talking about, the putty one. It's the original old school putty primer. And I'm going to take a Q-tip. This just happens to be a Q-tip with a flat edge and a pointy edge. I love these. They're so functional because this part's like textured and you can really use it to exfoliate your lips. But any Q-tip will work. I prefer the pointy tip ones though. And like this big flat paddle side is great for if you got like kind of a mess. But I just scoop out a bit of the putty primer and put it on the back of my hand. And just get a little bit onto the Q-tip and just swipe right under here. And it's like a magic eraser. And it's so gentle, it doesn't pull at all at your eye. And that's what I really prefer this method, because it is just so gentle on the under eye skin. It like cushions it and just easily swipes across. There we go, all tidied up. And for precision, the pointed crease, the pointed side of the Q-tip is fantastic. But you can see what a difference that made. I think it just, best thing ever. I think I got this tip from Wayne Goss. I think that's who it was. But I've done this for years. Use this method to clean up fallout. And occasionally I show it in videos if I feel like it's relevant. Sometimes, you know, you're just tidying up some fallout. It's not pivotal or anything. And if things look a little wonky right there, you can always tidy it up with the little pointed bits. So I will see you guys in just a minute once I have the face done. And we'll be back for our finishing touches, blush, bronzer, highlights, lower lash line, lips, all that jazz, and I think some fun lashes. So I'll see you in just a second. Okay, and we are back. Just finished up skin, used products I mentioned. Yeah. I think skin came out really good today. I swear this Halo Glow powder from e.l.f. is so nice. And it was just kind of the perfect combo. The No. 7 concealer, the True Match foundation. It was just all around perfect. My lips are a little pink because I've been swatching lipsticks. Trying to decide which one I wanted to wear. Because I was like, do I want to go more neutral? I don't know. I think I want to keep the lip a little more kind of neutral in tone and not lean into such a cool berry there. And just let the berry be a little bit on the cheeks. So anyway, let's finish up this lower lash line and we'll move on to the blush. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a gray eyeliner. You can get gray eyeliners from any brand. like, they're very easy to find at the drugstore. This happens to be one from Tarte that I got in a gift set. And I'm gonna just line right along my lower lash line underneath with this. Just curl this outer corner and let that join up. And we go into the waterline just on the outer corner, and I'm going to take it right here on the inner part. Just right there. Ugh, that makes my eyes tickle. Alright, I'm going to lightly try to blend that out that's left under there. Alright, and we'll go back to our eyeshadow palette for a minute here, just to finish up the lower lash line, do some finishing touches. Okay, so we're going to get back to our Enigma shade. And I'm just going to run that right out here. I did put a bit of contour bronzer over here, but I didn't blend it into the eye yet. But I just want to make sure all that was smooth right out here. I'm going to take a little bit of my bronzer. I'm using the Patrick Ta She's Statuesque bronzer. And I'm just going to blend it right here into this outer part. And I'm just going to bring that on this outer portion. And it just makes the eyeshadow flow into the rest of the face a little bit better. And just feel like it belongs. Oh, my little pumpkin. What are you doing? I'm going to take that little detail brush I used for the black eyeshadow. I'm going to clean it off. And I'm going to go into that gray eyeshadow that we used, Rumor Mill. Kind of focused more on one side of the brush. And I'm going to tap it along. Just right here where we put that eyeliner and let it flow up into the upper eyeshadow. And a little bit right here on the inner part. If you feel like you get like too much under here, what you can do is take a little brush, like a little flat, small detail type of brush with a little bit of concealer. And you can get in there and just tidy that up. Sometimes I can get a little messy on this inner part and blend down just a little too far. There we go. And I'm going to take my little Precision Firm blender, clean, and just run it across under here, just to make sure everything is looking nice and smooth and blended. I'm going to take a little bit of that shimmer shade we used on the lid called I Dig It. Just going to take a little bit on here and just pop it right there, kind of in the center. And just to kind of brighten up a little bit. I'm taking a little bit of that matte cream. Alright, and if you want to add a little more intensity, you could take the black eyeshadow just on the outer bits and just do a tiny touch of rock bottom and really tap that brush off and just let it be right there. Right at the lash line. It's a little smoky, but it's not over the top smoky. Okay, put my eyeshadow palette away because we were done with him. Alright, now I'm going to curl my lashes. And we're going to do some falsies. Alright, so I'm testing out some new lashes today and a new lash glue. I have got the Kiss Lash Couture Super Strong Lash Adhesive in Clear. They sent me this, full disclosure. I received PR from Kiss, and they sent me their Lash Couture Masterpiece One-of-a-Kind Luxe Lashes. These are so beautiful in like a really like luxe box. Like it feels like a high-end lash. And this is in the shade Pret-a-Porter. Pret-a-Porter. I can never remember how to say that. And here's a better look at them. These are just kind of a little bit wispy, nice. I'm going to have to trim them down a little bit to fit my tiny, tiny eyeballs. But that is okay. But yeah, I just think these are so nice looking. Oh, I'm going to trim so much off. Oh my goodness, they're huge. If you got big eyes, these would be great for you. Like, I'm literally going to have to cut these in half. I need more lashes made for shrimp eyes, please. Yeah, I think we'll be cutting off a good chunk of that outer corner. And I think I'm going to take a quarter off to start and see where that leaves us. These feel so like silky, the hairs. Yeah, take a little bit more. Okay, I think that should be perfect. What? Oh. Just tiny eye struggles over here. I'm going to take off about the same amount on the element. These have a bit of a thicker, substantial band because I think they are meant to be reused. They did send me some cleaner for lashes as well. And what I like to do is just kind of stack them up, make sure they're kind of even. So here's the thing, is I always end up with all these little bits of lashes. And sometimes I Frankenstein them and stack them. But sometimes that doesn't work out. It looks kind of goofy. I think this is the adhesive they sent to go with these lashes. I usually use their aloe infused one. That's for sensitive eyes. But let's branch out. Let's get a little more adventurous here. And I do like their lash glue pen. It is actually quite effective. Alright, I'm gonna let those dry for just a second, get tacky. I'm going to keep my little insert in the box so I can put these back, because I'm probably, in all reality, gonna wear these for about 2 hours and then take them off. When I take my makeup off, because I'm gonna just be filming today. Looks like it's getting good and tacky. Let's go ahead and try to pop these on really quick. All right, this went on pretty easily. Those are so pretty. Oh, I love these. They're so natural looking. But they're just so fluttery. Oh, gorgeous. These are the kind of eyelashes that I love. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm going to blend them with a little bit of mascara here. This is the Colleen Rothschild mascara. My eyelashes are naturally kind of blonde, so it helps you kind of just give them a little blend in. And I don't usually include doing the lashes, like popping on the falsies. I usually do it off camera. But since we're trying out some new ones, we would show it. And yeah, those went on like a dream. Very easy. Nice. And very comfortable. They look pretty good. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit of my eyeliner pencil and do a tight lining. I think the lash band looks good. It's not obvious. I'm not going to bother with doing liquid liner on top or anything like that. Just going to take a bit of my black eyeliner and run it just under here. There's no fleshy bit showing of my tight line. That's just a little personal pet peeve I have. And I'm just getting right in that very outer corner. Okay. That is the eyes done. I think they came out really nice. And for lips. Oh, blush. We gotta do our blush. The blush, I feel like, is kind of an important part. And I do think I'm going to swatch these blush real quick and just compare the tones and see which undertone I prefer. Like, that's the e.l.f. one. It's kind of hot pink. And here's the Burt's Bees. It's a little bit more dusty. I think the Burt's Bees might be the shade we go with a very light hand because it is quite pigmented. I'm going to get a soft, kind of fluffy brush here that's not going to pick up too much product. And just pop a little bit on. I'm not going to do the cold girl placement. which is kind of more across here. I'm going to do that in another video. I'm just going to pick up a little bit. A whole lot picks up, and really kind of work it off the brush a bit. And just lightly start to apply. Yeah, that looks nice. Very light, not a crazy pigmented application. Just a kiss of pink on the cheeks, or berry. I'll put a touch on the nose. This is the Hello Cheekbones from IT Cosmetics. I don't care for the bronzer in here unless I have false tan on, but the highlight in this, while it doesn't look like nothing on camera or in person, in the pan, it is stunning on the face. Just let me show you. It is one of those tricky little products that doesn't look like anything until you apply it, and then it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it has a pinky undertone. I think it would just complement this blush perfectly. Can you see it? I think it's so pretty. But yeah, the contour bronzer in here is so orange. I don't know what they were thinking with that shade. It's an odd shade. But man, this highlighter is just stunning. It's very smooth. It's not glittery. It's one of those very just flattering, glowy highlights. Very pretty. It's very wintry. And now, lips. I'm actually going to do something a little more neutral on the lips. I'm going to take Pat McGrath and Omi. And I'm going to line first, I think, with BFF lip liner. Yeah, let's do BFF2. A little bit of depth to it. And I'm just going to give that a little blur. And Omi is a little bit cool toned, but pretty neutral, just soft, nudie color. Like a Your Lips But Better color. This shade was, I believe, inspired by or designed for Naomi Campbell by Pat McGrath. And it's just pretty. It's pretty. Like, it's just a kind of a perfect color. It's like cool, but still neutral, depending on what lighting you're in and what you're pairing it with. All right. And to just be a little different, I'm going to pair it with a touch of gloss from Wet n Wild. And the reason I picked this one from Wet n Wild, this is from their Zodiac collection. You can still get this at Walmart and some random places. This is the shade Vertigo. Virgo. And it's just a nice kind of glittery gloss. These remind me so much of her Opal Lust glosses. Great dupe. Now, I don't know if you can find like an exact shade dupe, but kind of formula type of product, pretty similar. I'm just going to take a little bit of this. I just didn't have an Opal Lust gloss that matched. I was going to do all our Colourpop on the lip, but I couldn't find the shade that was speaking to me. And it's just on the center, like so. All right, let's sort this hair out. I have no idea what's really good. My hair's a little wild today. Look, I had a day yesterday. I washed and styled my hair. Everything was going great. I was super productive yesterday. Like, I had edited a video. I had done a workout. What else did I do? Yeah, washed my hair, styled it. Just done so much. And then I was about to sit down to film, and I decided to take Pumpkin out before I got settled in, before a storm was about to hit. And I got stung by a yellow jacket on my neck. So this is a little swollen under here today. Had to go to urgent care. Had to get some shots. It's a whole thing. My tongue started swelling up. Lots of pins and needles and numbness and pain. It was a very weird feeling, and yeah. So I kind of had a weird day yesterday, so my hair just got neglected. And I just laid on the couch at my friend's house because she has a lot of experience with allergies. So I just stayed the afternoon with her. And my hair is just kind of wild. I'm probably going to have to rewash it tomorrow, but this is what my hair is doing. And the weather was insane and really humid and yucky and damp, so that just creates frizz. So yeah, that's that. But you know what? It's still not my worst hair day. Like, it wasn't bad enough where I'm like, you know, I'm gonna redo it today. I think we're just gonna live with it. My favorite thing to do is take a little pick, run that through, and we'll just have more frizz and waves and curls on this particular day. But moral of the story, wasps and yellow jackets hurt. Yellow jackets hurt. Big pain. Big bad. Oh, it felt like somebody put a cigarette out on my neck. I was shaking like right after. I was like, you know, panic. And then my tongue started tingling and feeling weird on one side. My tonsils started swelling up. My ears started hurt, or my ear on this side started hurting because I got stung like right here. And you can't even see it today. That's what's weird. I can fucking feel it still. It hurt the entire, until I went to bed last night, it was hurting, like throbbing. But before that, it was like a bunch of needles stabbing me. So the throbbing was much better. And they gave me steroid shot, and I gotta be on steroids for like the rest of the week. And I'm tapering off the Benadryl. Thankfully, the steroids are canceling out the Benadryl from making me drowsy. I did sleep over 12 hours last night after the initial steroid hypers and whatever wore off. And a couple of doses of Benadryl. I slept 12 hours. And then woke up today feeling pretty bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Normally, if I take a Benadryl, just one, I am dead to the world for like 2 days. Like, I'm knocked out immediately and will sleep 12 hours and then be groggy for like 2 days. I don't do well with any type of, if drowsy is a side effect, it's game over for me, lights out, night. I can't take any kind of like, what do you call it, like benzos, stuff like that, anything that makes you tired or calm. I don't like it. And it makes me just days of just foggy. Like when I had the kidney stone, they gave me pain meds. Like they gave me narcotic pain medicine afterwards. I was so foggy for days, and I'd only taken it for 1 day, and I swear I had brain fog for like 3 days. I was just a zombie. I hate medicine. I really do hate taking medicine. Okay, but anyway, this is our finished look. I think yeah, let's take my tea. Anyways, this is our finished look. I think it came out so pretty. I love the way the skin came out today. It was just one of those really good skin days. The eyes came out very pretty. I think it's a sultry kind of look. It's a really, I think, a good date night look, or like for a nice event makeup. I love these lashes. I am obsessed with this style. And yeah, I kind of like the berry blush. I'm not a berry blush kind of girl. I like warm blushes. I rarely wear shades like this. But yeah, I kind of like it, and I think I'm going to do a cool girl makeup, or cold girl makeup rather. But yeah, let me know your thoughts below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.